Good afternoon. This is Terry from Allen Art and Design. Got my French vanilla coffee today. It's a gloomy Sunday here in New England. I want to show you my progress on my fabric bowl. So what I did was I went ahead, I'll show you inside. I decided I could actually see through this, and I didn't like it. There was like a dark spot running all the way down, and what it was this material that's inside. It was casting a dark spot all the way down, so I didn't like that. So what I did was I went ahead and I found some of this interfacing. I didn't know what this was. It's got squares all over it, and I'm like, what is this? And I read the directions, and what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to cut little tiny squares, and you put them all on here as big as you want it, and then you iron it, and it stays on this. What you do is, once you get your pieces on there, then you fold it on the line all the way down. Like you could have, this could be as big as a blanket, all the way down. It's all fused on there. And then you do a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way down. And then when you open it, your squares are together. And then you would do the next row and then stitch that on your sewing machine. So if you're trying to make a large piece of material out of little squares, like little blocks, this would be kind of cool. I might try it on something small just to see what it's like. I don't know. But anyways, I went ahead and I cut, I doubled it over and I cut it as long as this strip, and I just put it inside. The first thing I did was I stitched that long piece. And let me tell you what the name of this material is. It's called, and I'll show you, it's very thick material. It's for crewel embroidery. It's called linen twill. I looked it up. That's what this is called, linen twill. And it's heavy duty material. So, and then I stitched each side. See these sides? I base stitched all the way down. You don't need anything more than a basting stitch because it's going to be covered by this piece. It's just to hold it in place. Now this side I actually blanket stitched it, but then I thought better of it because, you know, I don't need to do it on this side because this is the side that's going to connect. But I just did it so that it wouldn't fray. So then I went ahead and I sewed everything on. I decided to put buttons all along the top. I just thought it looked cute. And these are the big yo-yos and the embroidered roses. And then these are roses that I cut out of a dress that I had bought. I've got smaller yo-yos. and I put those all the way along, and I stitched them all on. And once I had everything stitched on the front, then I took the lining and I turned it over like this. I just turned a piece, turned it over about 1/4 of an inch, and I stitched it. First I started with the bottom and stitched that all on, and then I did another I started stitching on the top. But after I finished, I realized that there was some material. It was like there was a big gap there. I went down too far, so I just went back and put another row of stitching, and that took care of that problem. And I know that I could use like a contrasting colored thread, but I don't know. I just decided I just wanted to use white thread. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I just wanted to hold it together. That's all I really cared about. Before I stitched that on, I did go ahead and I stitched in a few spots. I actually had to add a piece here because it was too short. I noticed when I was trying to put it together, this was all open like that in the back, and I'm like, I don't want to see that. So I stitched on another piece. And I might have to make some adjustments. It looks to me like I will have to make a little bit of an adjustment there, but that's fine. So what I want to do now is I want to put it together. I might pin this back. If I see threads, I just trim them up. I have been using my little sewing tray, and I just love it. It is adorable, but it's also really functional. Love it. It's my new favorite thing. Okay, so what I got to do now is we got to put this together. So I have to take out these pins right here. I have to open this up. And this is going to slide in like this. Let's see. I'm just going to leave that flap for later when I want to cover the inside. So we just want to make sure everything's tucked in like that. And this one is inside. And this comes over like that. Now, I want to take a look at the other side here. See if it matches up. And it does. So I'm going to pay attention more to the outside than the inside because I do want it to look nice. So I'm going to go ahead and pin that together. I just want to match it up. And then same thing on the bottom here. And I don't care if, I think that when I stitch it, you're not going to see that little bit of batting in there. But if you do, it's not a big deal. I'm not worried about it. I do want it to look nice though. So, I mean, I've spent so many hours sewing this. I've had a lot of fun with it though. I'm really enjoying myself with this. All right, see how that sticks up a little. So then I want to flip this over, pull it tight. I'm probably going to bend the pin doing that, but it's okay. I got plenty of pins. Pins we have. All right, so let's see. I want this to match up as good as I can get. Ouch, get it. A lot of pins going on right now. All right. So that looks good. So let's do the same thing here. I just want to pin it as tightly as I can. And I want to tuck everything in. I'm using pins. I could use those clips, but right now I need the pins to hold really well, and those clips don't hold like a pin will in this situation. Okay, so now that I'm looking at this, I want it this way. I'm going to do this again. Just going to have to, you know, work with it, finagle it, till you get it the way you want it. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'm going to just tack that just for right now, because what we want to concentrate on is this right here. I'm seeing these threads. I'm going to just trim them off. Okay. This is what I'm wanting to work on right now. I'm going to pull that aside even more. It's just because there's a button there. Because I'm going to be stitching right there, so this really needs to be over here. That's where these pins come in more handy than those, what do you call these? These little sewing clips. I want to show you. I love these little ones. These are so cute. They're great for holding an edge, but I don't feel like they're long enough. So what did I find? I went on Amazon. And look at what I found. These big ones. I didn't even know they existed. I got a whole thing full of them. These things are amazing. I don't know why that's like that. These are great. Look at how they go way down. So somebody was thinking when they made these, they didn't just make the cute little ones, they actually made bigger ones that are very functional, and I'm so thrilled to get these. I'm going to take these out of here. I'm going to put them in a jar like this. I love jars. I like them because you can see everything that you have right in front of you. And then I'm going to use this little thing right here. I'm going to use that for traveling. That's a nice little case. So that'll be great. All right, let's see where we are right now. All right, I got to stay focused. Let's see, I need a thin needle, and I found this thread. It's as close to this color as I could possibly get. So what I need to do is, this is a needle threader that I got at Walmart. They come 3 in a pack. This is perfect for fine needles. It works great. This is great because you can use very fine needles and very fine thread. So that works great. I think and I'm gonna get a nice long, actually I don't know if I need it that long, because we're only doing this much stitching, so we'll see. So I'm loving this fabric bowl. It's been a lot of work, but it's coming out so pretty. And now that I've made one, sometimes when the first thing you make, it's trial and error. You have no idea what you're doing, but once you do it, you're like, that's what I want to do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start in here, and I want this to be tight, like I said. I'm just going to start it. It doesn't matter. You're not going to see these stitches at all anyways, because they're going to be covered by the lining. I just want to get it started. Don't want to pull my thread out. Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to do a couple of stitches just to anchor this. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it like this, because I'm a right-handed person. I need my things a certain way. We want to make sure that this is in there really well. I'll do a couple of stitches on the back here just to catch it. Oops, I caught more than what I needed. I wonder if I should have trimmed off some of this inside, but I just think it'll be a major pain. So I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to go with it. And this is thicker, but I had to use a needle that had a bigger hole in it. I think that the really fine needle might not work for this. I needed something a little stronger because I'll end up bending the needle. I know I will. So let's see, how am I going to do this? Am I going to do a whip stitch? I think, yeah, I just want to connect it on either side. Okay, and I don't care if you see these stitches. That's fine with me. I don't really like that white there, so I'm going to try to cover that up the whole way down. See? I mean, it's working beautifully. I love it. I'm going to keep that pin there because it's holding it nice right now. I'm more concerned about getting this right first because in the back, those stitches aren't going to matter at all because it's going to be covered by the lining. Yeah, I had to go ahead last night and add that extra piece because like a dummy, I cut it short. But you know what? Just like in journal making, any kind of paper crafts or, you know, sewing, there's always a way to fix it as far as I'm concerned. It might be a challenge, but guess what? I enjoy a challenge. I like to figure things out and find ways to make things work. Okay. Now I feel like this is distorting that a little bit too much, so I'm going to hold it. Yeah, I think this is like the perfect size needle. So let's just keep stitching. Got to catch both sides. It's a little fiddly, but you know what? It's worth it. I think it's going to look great. I'm just going to tuck that in a little bit more and just keep holding it. And then I will come back after I finish sewing the inside because you don't need to see all that. This thread is working beautifully. So happy I found it. All right, I'm just going to finish this off right here and then I will come back and show you when this is all finished. Oh, the other thing I wanted to tell you is I had this whole thing upside down. The blue line is the top. I had it the other way around. I had to move everything and flip it upside down. Now this one here, I'm just gonna sew it right here. So I think what I'll do is pin it, and that way I know I just have to sew that and that will be done. Matches up good. I was thinking about ironing these things because they look a little bit frumpy, but guess what? I think it adds character. I'm not gonna iron it. I'm not trying to make it perfect. It's perfect to me, but I'm being partial because I love it. But that's, oh, what's that? Yeah, I need that there. So it's a little bit off, but I don't really care because, let me see, do I have it with me? I have one more of these flowers that needs to go on. Hold it. And I am going to pin this here just to remind me that once I finish sewing the inside, I still have to sew a rose on here, like that. And then that will be, oh, the other thing I did was I changed all of the roses to the smaller ones. I put smaller ones because there was two big, huge ones and they didn't look right. These match up better. So that's another thing I did. So let me show you. I'll put that aside because that's work I have to do next on this. I wanted to show you the bottom. Look at how pretty that looks. I just love it. What I did was the material that was inside, I told you it's called linen twill. And I basted that down. Actually, the piece of cardboard that was underneath was too big. I had to trim it down because I need more flexibility along the edge to sew this, to make it into a bowl. And the cardboard was coming right up against it, and that didn't work. So I trimmed down the piece of cardboard. I basted that piece of linen twill all the way around inside just to hold it in place. And then I went ahead and I did some basting around the edge. Like I don't know if you're even going to see this. You might be able to see a little bit. Once I get it sewed in, I don't even think you're going to see those stitches because it's going to be like that. But if I see them, they're basting stitch. I can always snip them and pull them out, but you can barely see them. So I don't think I'm even going to bother. And then I decided, aside for a second. This is a tablecloth that I got at, I believe it was a church thrift shop. And I've been cutting out all these doilies from it. Well, I looked at it and I said, geez, there's probably like 100 doilies on this. Well, guess what? I counted the number of doilies going this way, and I counted them going that way, and I multiplied them together. There's 240 of these doilies. So it's not like I'm gonna run out of doilies, and I don't know if I'll ever live long enough to use this many doilies, but I figured, hey, why not use some of them up in here? And these things actually took a long time to stitch, and they're not perfect. I don't care. These are very old. So I wanted them to stay down because, you know, if I put things in and out of the basket, I wouldn't want the edges coming up or anything. So I took my time and really stitched them on good. Then I decided there was a hole in the middle. I said, why don't I put a rose with a yo-yo and a button? But then when I saw the button, I'm saying, these have circles in the middle. Wouldn't that be cute to have buttons all the way around? And that's what I did. Once I finish stitching the inside of this, then I've got to figure out, how am I going to stitch this together? I don't want, like, I don't care if the material on the inside shows. I don't want it to show on the outside. I want it to be like this. I want it to be like that on the outside. So what you'll see on the inside may be some of this right here, but who cares? If I have to, I can always put some trim in there. So that's my next move with this. This is going to take me a little time to do. And then stitching the bottom on, that I'm going to have to finagle that. It's going to be tricky, and it's probably not going to be easy, but the next time I come on, I'm going to show you this, the whole thing, so you'll see it completed. I just think it's so cute. I love it, and I just love the size of it. Good evening, everyone. This is Terry from Allen Art and Design. I said I would be back to show you my finished fabric bowl. The way I stitched it, I tried not to lose this little bit on the bottom. And you can see the stitches inside all around. And I don't really like that look, but I love how this came out. It stands up on its own. I love it. I mean, it's not perfect, but I think it's adorable. I'll be able to use it for what I want to use it for. So, because I don't like that stitching inside, I found this trim. This one, which I think is very pretty. And this is mine, like I said. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I would like it to look nice. So what I'm going to do is, this is the back, because when I stitched that extra piece in last night, it made like a, you know, a spot where I could tell that that will be the back afterwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run hot glue, and I'm going to do a little bit at a time. I got my little finger here, finger protector here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see what I'm doing, but this is what I'm going to do to finish it off. Just going to do a little bit at a time. It came across my mind that I wonder if you could make one of these just using a glue gun. I might have to try that, because not everybody sews. Not everybody hand stitches, and not everybody sews with a sewing machine. This might be something you can do. I'm going to use 2 of them because I'm going to burn myself. I always do. Yeah. As I'm pushing it down, you know what I have? Here. I'm going to use this. It's silicone. It won't stick. If I press it down with my fingers, I'm getting it all over my fingers. But it's not sticking on this little silicone spatula. So, this isn't going to be perfect. It's fine. I just think it'll look neater. That's all I'm trying to accomplish here. So, just a little bit at a time. This one seems to go, you know, mold around the circle pretty good. And like I said, I'm just covering the stitches. That's all I'm trying to do. It's not going to be perfect. Like I just messed up right there, but I can pull it out a little. Pull it back. Take some of that tension off of it. And then, okay. Press it down. I'm not trying to get it up against the material. I'm just covering the stitches. I'm going to show you. These stitches all along the edge, they're messy, but I used a very strong thread, so there's no way that that's coming out. So I think this will be fine. Oops. You can pull it back and then move it around if you have to before it takes. So we'll just keep going all the way around. And now I'll just have to cut that off. I'll overlap it a little bit. Let me just finish this off. Look at that. See that? I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks great. I hope you can see that. So there's the bottom. And you can see a few of the stitches on the bottom, but who's looking at the bottom? This bottom is so ugly. I hate this material right there. I don't know why. I just don't like it. But this is great. And on all the sides, I love the buttons. I love the roses. these yo-yos with the crocheted roses. And I'm gonna leave these kind of wonky. I like the way that looks. It's kind of shabby chic. I just think it came out beautiful. So let me show you what I'm gonna use it for. Putting like projects that need to be done in here. What else do I have? These are 2 pouches that I'm gonna work on. These are the, I'll put those in the bottom. These are from that tablecloth that I've been cutting it up and using it on everything. I love it. Those roses that I cut out. There's some scrap material from this project, but I can use that for slow stitching. This big doily that I might use for a pouch. And then I have my 2 needle books that I'm working on. And I have plenty of other projects in the works, but look at that. They're all gonna stay in one spot where I can find them. And I just think they look beautiful. So thank you for coming to my channel. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear what you think of my finished fabric basket / vessel. I'll see you in the next video. Happy crafting!